last session we saw how to change states, and we saw one method called setState. So in this session we are going to learn about setState. We'll see some examples. We are going to see do and don't within a setState. So as always, we are going to create our file here called counter.js inside of our component folder. So I'll have counter.js as a file. Now this is a class component, so I will use the snippet. I remember I told you in the previous videos. So I'll write here rcc, then I'll select the first one. So I'll take this one here and put down here and add counter. The next step, I'll have to import this counter to my app.js. So I'll come here and write counter. I press enter to simplify, and make sure you close the tag and make sure here it has been imported on top. Then coming back to our class here, we are going to have a class constructor on top of this render method, and also we are going to have a state object. The two things can be accomplished easier by the snippet called rconst. Press enter. So inside of our state here, I'm going to write count. I will initialize it with a value of 1. An intention of this simple project, we need to create a simple application that when we go to our browser, we can increase a number. Okay, we'll increment a number. So inside of my div here, I will add h1 tag. I will write this one count, and then I will pass here my state. So I'll have this dot state dot count. Okay, I need this state here. So let's go to a browser and see what has happened. Okay, so in a browser here we see this is what count. That is, cut this one at this time. Now what we need is we need to create a button here. This button, when we click it, we need this number to be increased from 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Okay, so let's get back to our VS Code. Here we add a button element. So our button, and name of this button will be increment. Okay, now we remember that we need, when we click increment, this button should listen. Okay, so we say here on click, this will be an event. On click equals to, we are going to use our function here. So I'll say this dot, so I'll say here increase increment, then what, number. This is what we need. So going here, before render here, we are going to create our method, this one here, increment number. Okay, and this way. So inside here we are going to write this dot count, this dot state dot count equals to this dot state dot count plus 1. Okay, let's get back again to our browser and check. Now we have a button here. Let's open a console via inspect here. We need to see from the console when we click this one here what will happen. Okay, but before that, I think there is one thing we have not consoled from our VS here. So let's get back to our VS Code. We have to write console, we need console this dot state dot count. Okay, let's go back to our browser. Now take this off and click here. Okay, now you see when we click here this button, the console is working. That is 1, 2, when you click more again 3, 4, 5, etc. But our UI is not working. Why? We come from the first don't. We say never modify the state directly. Use setState method. So let's go back again to our VS Code. So from here, we are going to clean this one here because we have modified the state directly, so it's not allowed. So we are going to say this dot set state. Okay. Now here inside our state, we are going to have count. Okay, so we'll say this dot state dot count n plus 1. Okay, so let's go back to our browser and see. Okay, now press increase. Bam, we have seen. So our number is increasingly. But we have one issue here. When we check to our console here, we expected that when we click increase button, the number here should start from 1 and goes on with 2, 3, 4, etc. depending how many clicks you'll do here from the button. Now, what is this? Here we are getting to the second don't. We say that whenever you need to execute some codes after the state has been changed, do not place that code right after the setState method. Instead, place that code inside the callback function passed as a second parameter to the setState method. How this can be figured out? Let's get back to our VS Code. What we are expecting is we need to pass it from here. We are not supposed to put it after this setState method as it's like here. So this should be inside here. So we say put comma. We'll have our arrow function here that way, and inside here we'll say call logs. Here we are going to say, you can put anything. I'll say callback, and after that I'll return the state, this dot state dot count. Okay, now let's go back and see to our browser. Okay, now click here. Bam, you see. So here we have 1, 2, etc. And we see here the callback do exactly as when we click here, we get the same callback. Now let us take another scenario. For example, we need, when we click this increment here, the number here should be increased 3 times. That means it should move from 0 to 3, 3, 6, 6, 9, 9, 12, etc. How do we handle such a situation? Let's go back to our VS Code. I'm going to create a new method here, and this method I will call it increment 3. Increment, I'll say here increment 3. This is the method that I'm creating. So here I'll have to say this dot increment 3. Okay, oh sorry, should be increment number, not 3, because we are dealing with this one here. So number I'll put this way. I'll add this one here 2 times, so this one and that one. Then in our button, because we need it, when we press it, we need it to deal with this this method here. Okay, so we are going to have here 3. Okay, so let's go back to our browser and see what is happening. Okay. Now when we click increase here, now you can see that here the number is not increasing as we intend. It goes by 1, 2, 3, etc. But when you come to a console here, we have that 0 is logged in 3 times, and in the callback 3 has been logged in 3 times. Why this happened? Now we come to a third don't. We say when you have to update the state based on a previous state, make sure to pass a function as an argument instead of a regular function. So let's get back to a VS Code. So here I'm going to comment this one here, and thereafter I'll have another state here, this dot set state. Okay, within this state I'll have here to call a previous state. Okay, that's what we need. And here I'll have my R function. Then what do I need? I'll say count here. Then I'll have this previous state dot count, then plus 1. Yeah. Okay, now let's go back to our browser. Okay, so I click here, bam, you see, so we have 3, and here we have 3 logs. Okay, here we have 3 callbacks, so it's working. Bravo. Now let us go back and recap what we have learned in setting states. Never modify the state directly. Use setState method. Whenever you need to execute some code after the state has been changed, do not place that code right after the setState method. Instead, place that code inside the callback function passed as a second parameter to the setState method. When you have to update the state based on the previous state, make sure to pass a function as an argument instead of a regular object. Thank you, my dear students. I hope you have a basic understanding of setState method. See you in the next session where we are going to see structuring. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Bye-bye.